I'll get me two, and then y'all do whatever you do. We're starting in 1 minute.
Testing, testing.
Check. 1, 2. Hello, Elvis.
Eddie Murphy's rendition of Elvis. We can't repeat a lot of that. Candy's going back that way.
Okay. I don't know. That would just be the mayor's.
Chelsea got them fixed.
She
They
did.
put them all back here on this windowsill. We couldn't find them.
Good evening. It is 6 o'clock. We will convene the Tuesday, February 4th, 2025, 6 p.m. meeting. We have established a quorum, although I'm going to ask Chelsea to call the roll, and we will convene this month's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Chelsea, please call the roll.
Sorry, I'm looking for my, here it is. Okay. Carl West? Here. Is my, blah, 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 no, okay. Brett Chumley? Here. Lois Burke? Joe Wood? Here. John Clement? Here. Pamela Gibson? Here. Jim Stillwell?
Here.
Mark Chilton? Here. Andy Ward? Here.
We only have one absent. We do have a quorum. Chelsea, if I don't think there's a need to read the minutes, unless you wish to read the minutes. If everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from January 7th. We have a motion. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, please say aye. The motion is approved. We'll move into convening item 3, the public hearing on A, renaming of Dixie Street. Chelsea, if you would please read a request concerning that issue. Keeping in mind, there will not be a vote during the public hearing. The renaming of Dixie Street is item C on the official Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, so it will be a bit before there is actually a vote regarding that issue. The first item is simply the public hearing.
Carl Fuller, homeowner on Dixie Street, filed a petition with the city of Benton to rename Dixie Street to Fuller Street in honor of Corporal Corio Fuller Jr. All requirements have been met in accordance with City of Benton Ordinance 9 of 2016, which is establishing procedures for renaming streets within the city of Benton. There are 58 parcels along the street per GIS. Thank you. And 36 signatures. Oh, this one went off too. 36 signatures in favor were obtained. A copy of the petition and documentation have been added to your packet for your review. I did want to let you guys know I got an email today from a homeowner in the area. She doesn't live on Dixie Street, but she does live in the Ralph Bunch community. She stated that she was not in favor of the name change, but that she was okay if the name was eventually changed, but just wanted the community to come together to have to figure a name out together.
Thank you, Chelsea. I am glad to see everyone here, and thank you for coming to participate in the process. I welcome any of your comments. Ideally, it is always nice if there is a person in each faction that is designated to speak. It moves things along. However, if you do wish to speak, you are welcome to do so. Everyone has 3 minutes. So whoever wishes to start us off, either for or against this item in this public hearing, it is time for you to speak. Please take the podium, state your name, and sign the book.
Can you try to turn your mic on for me? It might not work, but
There it is.
All right.
Green light's on.
I don't, it's not a pen here.
There's a couple behind you to your right.
I'm gonna sign the book. My name is Greg Reed. I've been on Dixie Street all my life. I'm not really for that change. So, I still live here. I will not vote for it's anything about black, white, green, or yellow. I just think it's a bad idea. I'm not gonna pay any money for it, living there, so I'm gonna leave that up to whoever. I think it's just a bad idea altogether.
There will be a cost in it. If the name changes, you gotta change your driver's license.
Well, I'm not favored for it, so
What was your last name?
Reed.
Reed?
Greg Reed. So whatever it be, I'm gonna leave that up to this committee in the city.
Right. Thank you so much for voicing your opinion and participating in the process. Next one.
How you all doing today?
We're doing well. Please state your name and sign the book.
All right, my name is Percy Harry Jr. P-I-E-R-C-Y-H-E-A-R-D Jr. Okay, and I come up here to represent that I'm for this, cause I served in Vietnam, and after me serving over there and some of the other brothers, Robert community, he was the only one that didn't make it back. And I talked to him the night that he was gonna leave out, cause he said, buy me a beer, and I owe you one when I get back. I said, okay. Next time I see him, he was in a casket, I got lucky. I made it back, what I'm talking about? And we ought to honor the man. That's what I want to do. Y'all, and I appreciate y'all for the time.
Thank you, and thank you for your service. Is there anyone else that wishes to be heard?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can y'all hear me?
I can.
Okay. So I have some notes here. So that
Your
I
name
have-
for the record,
My
please.
name is Winifred Stamps, W-I-N-I-F-R-E-D. Make sure the second I is in there. S-T-A-M-P-S. Thank you. Okay. So it is not lost to me that the main petitioners of this effort either do not live in Benton and most certainly do not live on Dixie Street, meaning they have not considered the cost or have ignored the cost that residents on the street, not just property owners, but residents who live on Dixie Street will have to bear. Changing street names costs time and money. The city will bear the cost of such things, and this is not an all-inclusive list, of new street name signage and installation costs, changes to maps and physical direction guides for navigation systems and records for the new name, advertisements necessary to give notices of new addresses, and other required legal changes. Residents who live on Dixie Street, not just property owners, will be responsible for financial and logistical burdens of changing such things as address changes to all legal documents, bank accounts, investment accounts, wills, insurance documents, utility accounts, postal address changes, changes to driver's license, passport, car titles and registration, real estate, mortgages, deeds, and titles, professional license or certifications, business stationery, websites, letterheads, business cards, and other things. Keeping in mind that several documents on this list will require the service of notaries and lawyers, and these people do not work for free. This is not a pro bono issue. Based on conversations I've had with people when I explain the cost involved, many are surprised because they were not informed by the petitioners, and they are beginning to share my concerns. Additionally, I would like to ask the petitioner and this committee Have you considered the potential disruption to emergency services reliant on established street names for swift response times? During an emergency, it is not the time for confusion as to where first responders are needed. As an alternative, I respectfully suggest exploring other ways to honor or achieve the goals of the proposed names change, which is to honor a fallen soldier and his Gold Star family without altering the name of Dixie Street. This might include dedicating a landmark, park, public building in the proposed named honors, ensuring that the intended recognition is achieved while preserving the street's current identity and history, be it good, bad, or ugly. For example, with permission from the Men's Alliance Progress, the Ralph Bunch Community Center can bear the name.
Thanks, Ms. Stamps. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry you didn't get to complete
That's okay.
your talk,
Just want people to
but it's
know
very well done.
it's gonna cost them money.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Wine, and I am one of the people who implemented the street ordinance. The Gold Star family is a family who is indeed a great honor to have in our community. We don't have a lot of great things coming out of our community. This is a dying community. I'm also a member of the Ralph Bunch Neighborhood Association. I have been a member for many years. I have served on all types of different boards at the different churches. I was a traveling nurse, so I got out of the loop for a minute. But it would be an honor to have the name changed to the Fuller name. And I just want to say it took a lot of time and effort. And anybody who would have been opposed of this, we've been doing this for over 6 months now. They should have came up ahead of time. We gave out streets signs. We gave out door hangers. We've been met with nothing but violence when we're only trying to do something good for the community. Not only do we want to change the name, we want to restore all those burn up houses. It's such an eyesore in the community. These are the things that we should be noticing. When people come to our community, this should be a place where someone's proud of. And everybody is saying the cost. Well, every year we have to change certain documents, and it's not a big cost. And I would appreciate it if you guys would really honestly consider changing that name, because we worked so diligently on that ordinance. And we thank the person who, this ordinance had been in place since 2016. If anybody would have wanted to do anything differently, they could have picked it up just like we did. We came up with the name because, as you see, the two cannot get along. They have a problem with getting along with people that are not in certain cliques. So therefore, I'm saying today, I would appreciate it if you would just consider the Gold Star family and not all of the other rhetoric that's going along with it. Thank you guys, and thank you for coming up with the ordinance.
Thank you so much for your participation. Are there others that wish to speak?
Yes, my name is Rodney Wine, born and raised in Benton. I graduated class of '77, and I just want to say about the cost. We're hearing about the cost. Fuller family has paid a tremendous cost. The life of a soldier in 1967 who did not enjoy the full freedoms of an American at that time. You understand what I mean? The cost of a life surpasses the cost of anything else, I believe. So this was not about the name of Dixie. It's about remembering a fallen soldier. He was raised up on that street. If it was another street, we would have asked to change that street. But he was happened to be reared and raised up on Dixie Street. And with the respect of this council, no, I do not live on Dixie. I don't live in Benton anymore. But I was born and raised, and my grave spot is marked already in Woodlawn Cemetery. I will be buried there. But I was awarded the Ralph Bunch Community Civil Service Award, and I did not live in Benton for the work that I do in the community. So I think I've earned the right to speak. And I think to honor the Fuller family, surpass all costs said. I mean, he died for this country. The only soldier in our community, the only Gold Star family in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wine. Are there others that wish to speak?
Hello, my name is Vivian Reinhardt. We have property on Dixie Street, and I have no problem with the Fullers, but a friend of ours, Monisha Perryman, sent a letter, and she asked me to bring it and read it to the community. She says, decision to rename the street is an important step in addressing a term that has carried a painful history, particularly for Black Americans. The term Dixie has long been associated with the Confederacy and its efforts to uphold slavery. As such, it is tied to a racist and divisive past that has caused long-lasting harm to Black communities across the nation, in Benton and many other areas. This name continues to serve as a reminder of that history. The name perpetuates painful association with segregation, oppression, and inequality. And she believes it is essential to replace it with a name that reflects our values of unity, progress, and community. While she fully supports the initiative to rename the street, she respectfully suggests that the committee look beyond honoring just one family, focusing exclusively on the memory of one individual, particularly someone who lost a family member in 1967, sidelining the contributions of countless others who have helped shape the community by focusing on someone whose legacy reflects broader community service. We can ensure that the new name reflects the inclusive, forward-thinking spirit that we aim to foster. In spirit, I propose Albert Reinhardt as a potential name for the street. Mr. Reinhardt was the first African-American to own land in Benton, and his contribution to the neighborhoods are both profound and enduring. Not only did he provide housing to families who were turned away elsewhere, but his actions helped countless people, including her own family, build a life and establish a future in a community that had long been segregated. Without his support, our ancestors may not have survived their escape from a former slave plantation, Mexico camp in Bauxite, Arkansas. His legacy is intertwined with our community history. He represents an ideal candidate for honoring the legacy of those who built the community, not just a single family, but all those who made sacrifices and contributed to the growth and development of the neighborhood.
Mr. Reinhardt, respectfully, you are out of time. Very well put and very well done. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name is Brett Higgins, and I'm here in support of, changing, Dixie Street to renaming out the war hero, C.J. Fuller. I was, born and raised here in Benton, you know, and, I've seen a lot of things go on, happen, but it would be nice if, you could replace the Dixie with C.J. Fuller, war hero. That's all I have. I've seen people working on this case, on this, pouring their money out just to get it filed, They paid an enormous money, changing this and changing that. But it would be nice if Benton Council would change that name Dixie to C.J. Fuller.
Mr. Higgins, do you live on Dixie Street?
No, I'm from the neighborhood.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Higgins. I appreciate your comments. Are there others that wish to speak?
Hi, my name is Elfrida Hoover, and I have property on Dixie Street. I am in favor of renaming the street. I believe that the word Dixie has a negative connotation. It was inspired by the Civil War, which were the slave states were below the Mason-Dixon line. And so Dixon was just shortened to Dixie. And so I believe the word has very negative connotations. So I am in favor of changing the street name. However, I believe that there should be a vote as to what it should be changed to. So that's my opinion. I lived on Dixie Street all of my life. I no longer live there, but I have property there. My mother, Lindell Marshall, she's been a lifelong resident of Dixie Street. She's not in favor of the change. She wishes it to remain Dixie Street, and some of her reasons are for the same reason that Ms. Stamps did. She's concerned about the logistics of it and getting everything changed around. So even though we, have different opinions, she's still my mother. I'm still her daughter.
You gotta love her.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we're still gonna get along. And so I wish that for the whole community. Even though we have different opinions, I still wish that, we still maintain and get along as a community. Thank you.
Ms. Hoover, thank you for your words. Very well done. Are there others? If there are no other people who wish to speak, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this public hearing, and then we will convene the Board of Adjustments. Is there a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor? Say aye. Motion passes. We will convene the item 4, the Board of Adjustments meeting, moving to item A. Chelsea, if you would read the request.
Brooks Livers with Live Cove Properties is requesting approval of a variance for their property located at 414 Short Street. The purpose of this variance is to allow the lot size to be under the minimum required for a TC1 zone. They are requesting 3,297 square feet. The lot size minimum in a TC1 is 6,000 square feet. All rules and requirements have been met in accordance with city ordinance, and DRC and Benton Utilities have approved this request.
Thank you, Chelsea. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on this item? Please state your name, sign the book.
I'm Brooks Livers. I own 414 Shore Street. Would you like me to give you a background?
Certainly. Anything you wish to say in regard to this item?
basically just requesting that we move the back property line to the new fence, that the fence kinda got placed because there's a big tree right there. Or it probably would be a little bit more in line with that side lot property line there. I think, do you have a survey?
Yeah.
What it is, okay. I own, the 311 Cross Street, so basically just swapped the no man's land portion.
Thank you. Are there questions from the commissioners for Mr. Livers?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I heard what you said, but I don't understand it.
Okay.
Okay, you own all three properties there, the 214, the property in back, and then the little bitty teeny tiny sliver,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
The 414, which is on this survey, it shows the house right there.
Yeah,
The property line went, all the way to the back of that, like behind Cross Street, behind Ryan, if you see.
yeah.
So where the new, bold line is where the new proposed property line would be. It just moved it up, or I guess to the east, that would be over there. Just basically cutting that, that lot was super long that the rental house had. And so we just moved that lot behind, just directly behind my personal house.
Did the lot ever meet the requirement of DC1?
Yeah.
It did, okay.
So this lot that's on the bottom left, or bottom right, I'm sorry, just to explain it to y'all. It went all the way back past that, his property on the bottom left. So essentially, they moved that bottom left edge and moved it up. They halved that lot, long ways.
Okay.
So where it was a rectangle, it's now more of a square. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Are you planning on trying to squeeze something on there?
If anything, it would just be for my, backyard space. The back part behind my house, it may just be like a.
No, I mean, where you're doing.
Are you talking about the little lot?
Yeah.
That lot hadn't changed. That lot's the same.
Okay.
That lot's the same as it's always been.
So the
What it
third,
was, there were two separate properties. So this one, where the house is, went all the way back here to this backside.
Yep.
And then this one's always been the same. It's a separate lot in general. And I plan to just keep it the same. I don't really have any intention at the current time, but I would like to keep it the same, just the way I bought it. The small lot.
This is just flipping the back to add to your house.
Correct.
but it's shortening the square footage.
The square footage of, yeah.
So I can't approve the replat until I have y'all.
Right.
The problem I have with it is that you're leaving this one little bitty, teeny tiny thing, and what I don't understand is, why don't you replat it in some way so that the property that has the house on it now, which, that house is just right up against the fence and right up against the neighbors.
It's really not it's actually a decent, comparatively, the backyard that I gave the rent house,
Not worried about the backyard,
Okay,
I'm
right.
worried about the side,
the side little lot,
yeah.
I'd prefer just to keep it the same, just because that's what it is. But I wouldn't give it to the rent house. I'd put it on mine, but I don't really see the point in doing that at the moment, since it's already there. I'm not really asking to change that small lot.
But that's the one you're moving the line on.
No, the line of requested movement is the one behind Short Street House, the rent house right there. We just moved it from here to here.
Come over closer.
Yeah, sure.
You got a
Can I
point,
come over there?
you got
Okay.
a point on this thing.
Sorry.
Okay,
This is the original line
yeah,
on the back. I'm just requesting that we put the new line right here. So that my house is right here, all this would just be part of that, and this is just that. This is already existing. That's just an existing lot. I'm just
but
asking
isn't
that.
this the 3,000 square?
That was already existing.
That was already
It's kind of an orphan lot, basically.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
wasting time.
Sorry, that,
So
it is
this
mentioned in
becomes the
survey.
3,000 square foot
Yes,
lot?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So but up here it says, so that's why I was confused too. Okay, so we're working on this one.
So scoot back.
Yeah, sorry. The only one lot we're really talking about is this one,
Right
in this
here.
variance. And it's moving this, it's moving the property line. This used to go all the way this way.
Yeah.
So we're just putting it right there. So it'll be 4857. Yeah, 4835 looks like.
That's behind your house. We're talking about the one behind your house.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. It was
So the
this.
one he is requesting,
That
four,
one.
no, this one.
Yeah,
No,
see,
no, it's actually this one.
so see, that's where we got a problem.
Yeah.
Everything I thought we were talking about is here, but he
This is
said
this.
it's
Hold on,
this.
Brooke, hold on. So this is where the house is, this is AR County data, okay?
Yeah.
This is the parcel number and the address.
Yep.
You see that
Yep.
right here?
Got it.
Parcel numbers. This lot is showing covers this entire thing, current.
No, it's this lot. Sorry.
So then the
And this
addresses,
is 414.
so the addresses on the variance are incorrect. But the plot plan that you also turned in, this property goes all the way back through your rear property.
What address is on there?
See, this is the little lot that you're talking about.
414.
Yeah, 414. That's right. This house is 414 Short Street.
Chelsea, do we have inaccuracies in regard to our documentation?
See what's really inaccurate. I don't know what's in Erica County down, but this is
I
showing.
see what he's saying.
You see what I'm saying?
So the address is wrong then on the application,
I don't see how though. Where?
because this is 414. Here, the
No,
parcel
I've got a
number.
survey showing what's 414. This is 414 right here. And that address of that house is 414 Short Street.
But the variance you're asking us is to take a lot size down from 6,000 minimum
Okay,
required
to 4835, okay, so the parcel
to
number.
3,000.
Parcel numbers are here. So it is this one.
Yeah.
This one, and so it'll be a variance for this parcel number for 414 to be able to get a replat. So currently, I'm sorry, I got what you're saying.
Sure.
So the address is wrong on here, or on here, one of the two. So this is about little over 9,000 current, so they're asking to be capped.
Is the address wrong?
It's still smaller than,
Because
Yeah.
this marks as 414, this is
Right.
what the
Yeah.
addresses are in
But that's the
AR
one that's the
County
working
data.
line. Okay. Yeah, but,
Oh, no, no.
that's right.
I don't know if that.
Okay, it's right, so this is 414.
Yeah.
So no, it's
It's
right.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, so it is correct? So we're not going with.
It's correct.
so we're not going to 3297,
We're going to 48.
48.
48.
57. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Sorry, AR County has it on the wrong spot.
Are there other questions from the commission? If there are none, I would entertain a motion.
Yeah, it's gonna be your backyard. It's just gonna be my backyard. Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Chelsea, please call the roll.
Carl West?
Yes.
Brett Chumley?
Yes.
Lois sorry, she's not here. Darrell Wood?
Yes.
Sean Clements? Pamela Gibson?
No,
Mark Chilton?
Yes.
Andy Wolford?
Yes.
Motion passes. We have 1 no, 6 yes. Motion to adjourn the Board of Adjustments meeting, and then we will convene the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Board of Adjustments meeting is adjourned. We will convene the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. First item is A, Heritage Homes Preliminary Plat. Chelsea, please read the request.
Hope Consulting and Heritage Homes is requesting approval of a preliminary plat for Heritage Homes. This property was approved for a rezone from LI to R3. That was ordinance 51 of 24. So a smaller lot subdivision is a permitted use. All fees have been paid and requirements have been met in accordance with subdivision ordinance. This is that 9-lot subdivision that we rezoned last month off of Dale and River.
Correct.
Is there anyone here representing this item? Thanks, Mr. Hope. Please state your name, sign the book.
Jonathan Hope with Hope Consulting. You guys are familiar with this as you just saw it, as Chelsea stated. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Are there questions for Mr. Hope from the commission? Keeping in mind, this is a preliminary plat. Do we have a motion to approve the preliminary plat?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, is there a second? Chelsea, please call the roll.
Carl,
Yes.
Brett Chumley,
Yes.
Darrell Wood,
Yes.
John Clement, Emily Gibson,
Yes.
Mark Chilton,
Yes.
Andy Ward.
Yes.
Thank you all.
We have 7 yes. Thank you, Mr. Hope. Moving on to item 2, North Shore Village preliminary plat, ETJ. Chelsea, please read the request.
Hope Consulting and GC Homes is requesting approval of a preliminary plat for North Shore Village. Property is currently located outside Benton city limits, but it's located within the planning jurisdiction. If approved, landowners do plan to possibly annex into the city of Benton and utilize city services. All fees have been paid and requirements have been met in accordance with city of Benton subdivision regulations.
Thank you, Chelsea. Are there questions for Mr. Hope from the commission?
You all may remember this from, previously it was submitted as a storage project last year. We came to you all initially, got some feedback, tweaked the layout, added landscaping, did our best to produce the best storage project possible on the property. We had a lot of feedback that storage, there was fear about lighting and a lot of concerns that were raised during that meeting. It was actually passed on to City Council, and then it was determined that a recent ordinance had changed that required a conditional use permit, I believe, for storage, even in the ETJ. So we came back to this body again. It was passed on again through planning, so twice a project was approved here at Planning Commission, but at City Council, it did not succeed. So we have a completely different project. And so we're providing a preliminary plat for a residential subdivision on this property now that we think is a great project we're excited about, and happy to answer any questions.
I do want to let the commissioners know, and Jonathan, so that he can maybe clarify some things. I did get emails from some of the property owners in the neighborhoods that are closest to this. A lot of them thought it was a bigger development for apartment complexes. I did clarify to them that there are 46 total lots, and they're single family. They are townhomes, but per city ordinance, they would be considered attached single-family homes instead of detached, like we normally see. So it would be a townhome development. The concerns were the same as last time: crime, noise, and traffic flow, I think were the main ones, John.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hope, I know this is a preliminary plat, but do you have plans to run some landscaping, heavy landscaping along the side that butts up against whatever the name of that subdivision is?
Rolling Brook.
Back of their house?
I don't have anything on the plans right now. The topography on that is that's steep property. It's pretty thick now, honestly. I think additional landscaping would be less screening than what's there now. We can look at it. Taking down some of the thick stuff might be more of a less screening than trying to clean it all up and put up, but I can discuss that with them.
Is that something you could maybe look at and then
Yes.
bring back for final, whenever you bring back for final plat?
Sure.
I'm concerned about several things with
Okay.
this. One is the water runoff, and if you just go in and clear cut it and pave it,
Right.
you need some vegetation, because the way that slopes, people downhill are gonna get more water, I think, in a heavy rain than they really want or need.
Understood.
The other thing is some screening between this and the subdivision next to it. And the third is, of course, the traffic flow, particularly onto, what's the name of that? Harper. Yeah.
Right, so, you know, Harper is not obviously probably going to be thought of as the primary access. I mean, its primary goal in this is to achieve the fire code and do a secondary access. With 43 homes, that's not a lot, so we're not very far back on the property. I think most everybody would end up going down North Shore.
That's still a good idea to have a second entrance though, and it's
I
code.
agree, I agree.
And Jonathan, whenever you do your construction drawings, you'll have to bring the, stormwater runoff and everything up to code.
Yes, ma'am.
Have y'all done drainage studies and all of that yet?
Yes, ma'am, we've actually already
Okay.
done all that.
Are there other questions? If there are none, I would entertain a motion.
Move the approval.
Ms. Commissioner Gibson, I think we have two other people I didn't notice that wish to speak. Please come forward.
I withdraw.
Motion withdrawn.
My name's Jennifer Jackson. I live at Harper Road. I'm concerned about development out there. Number one, will it have any Section 8 homes included? I'm not sure how that works. Also, traffic concerns for the area. We have a little one, excuse me, a one-lane road. Any increase in traffic is going to cause a big issue in the area. I also know that the water runs off my property into that area. I have about 8 acres there. So, kind of concerned what that's going to do to property values, crime, traffic, Section 8, any of those coming into it.
I think Mr. Hope said these were gonna be townhouses. so
Townhouses that are coming in?
That's not Section 8.
Okay. I know, but still. Anyway, I'm not, I'm against this, period, for this property. I know we tried to do the storage facility and ran into a lot of challenges there. But with regard to this land, Harper Road doesn't get much attention. I think that would end up annexing my property in as well, with that 8 acres that is there. I'm not sure if it's been proposed or what the plan is.
Are you the Jade Renovation and Designs?
No, I'm Jennifer Jackson, 2606 Harper.
You would not be in it with that. Say when you propose this property.
Just this property? I'm in a bubble right now.
Sure.
And with 8 acres out there, it's a little concerning, because right now, it is really an oasis. This is the city of Benton, I've been there for 18 years now. And I'm all for progress, but I want to make sure that we're developing the right community there.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any more questions for this citizen? Yes, I was. If there are, go ahead, sir. State your name, sign the book.
My name's Cameron Glenn. I'm against also, well, not necessarily against. I wouldn't be able to make a decision on whether to be for or against until somebody can give a definitive answer as to whether or not it'll include Section 8 housing. Because most Section 8 housing nowadays is single-family housing. My dad's built thousands of units across the South. And they're all just like this. They're all multifamily, single-home houses. They don't even call it a Section 8 anymore. So until somebody can figure out a definitive answer.
Jonathan, will these homes be individually owned? Thank you.
These are not Section 8. Skylar and Eric built houses all over Benton. They don't own anything there.
Thank you.
Also, I mean, just as a general statement, everybody likes living out there because it's out there, because, you know, you want to live
Thank you, sir. Good evening. State,
Evening, how are y'all?
state your name, sign the book. Thanks for being here.
Not a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and sign this real quick. My name's Derek Cox. I live on Stonewall. You'll be able to see my name in that property that where they're wanting to come and put all those houses. My property is right there on that line. He stated that Harper is going to be a secondary access. We all know how secondary accesses work. Whatever's convenient, that will become primary. Harper Road is also one that is very, very narrow. It is very difficult for two vehicles to get up and down that road. So when one vehicle meets another, somebody's diving off onto somebody else's road. I have witnessed in the past month a lot of vehicles coming up and down that road, backing up in my yard, and I already have runoff from the water. There's tons and tons of rain that is happening. Over the years, I have had to get out there and help a neighbor from their house flooding. They turned around and spent thousands of dollars to turn in and put in French drains to keep water from Harper Road coming in and condensing into their, flooding their house. It actually happened once. They put the drains in and it has alleviated some of it. But even with massive rains, water does get into their house. I am not in favor of this. I would like for it to stay exactly the way it is currently as far as that wood line on Harper Road. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions or comments for this gentleman? If there are none, next citizen, thank you for being here.
I'm Kay Rouge, and I also live on the cul-de-sac that butts up to this area that you're talking about in Heritage Farm. That's the other subdivision that's affected. The addition of 46 rental units will greatly increase the density from what currently exists. Renters are typically more transient, much higher potential for noise disruption. We already had some in our own subdivision with the loud vehicles and the loud music that booms from several blocks away. So we can anticipate that as a possibility, and especially in a high dense area. Property values would decrease because of the footprint rental units would impose on the neighborhood by detracting from the ambiance of the area. Traffic concerns, they've been addressed, but not only Harper Road, but also North Shore. North Shore has low visibility due to the steep hills, and the additional traffic in and out of the proposed site will only increase the potential for accidents. Harper Road, as he said, we have a garage at the very back, at the end of Harper Road, and so we access that road as well, and it is a huge problem. We have to back up down that road when another car comes. You have to find a driveway or something there and back up and back into it. And it does get real muddy and a lot of rain. There's been some trees down that's covered the road before, so it is a major problem, not something you want to use. It's a one-lane road. And by one lane, I'm talking there's overgrowth of the trees that goes over. So even if you have a truck or something, it's going to scrape. The trees are going to hit it. So that is a big problem there. Maintaining law and order is a high concern for high-density areas compared to individual homes. Additional crime is a major concern for all property owners. We know fences do not prevent access. We have the same issue in our neighborhood. Personal privacy is an issue because homes in near proximity can easily be watched and monitored. Increased lighting will also negatively impact those living in close proximity who currently enjoy their privacy. Building additional rental units will only add to the current overcrowding of our schools.
Ma'am, your time has expired. You're at 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
For clarification, Mr. Hope, it's been said a number of times that these are rental units as if this were an apartment complex. it is not an apartment complex. These are individually owned townhomes. Am I correct in my assumption?
Yeah, these are the difference in the apartments versus townhomes and the way this is done. City of Benton does these on individual lots, so they can be sold versus.
Attached single family.
Yeah, so they're all gonna be on their own individual lots.
Got it. Thank you. Are there others that wish to speak?
Hello, how are y'all? I'm Albert Smino. I'm looking at the plot and I'm just wondering, I see that there's a main road that comes in front of North Shore, and then there's one road going out the back, and that is off of Harper. So it looks like it's gonna be used as an exit. I know it's only, like I said, that road is, like everybody's mentioned, it's tiny. But you gotta get over in somebody's yard or somebody's, driveway, cause that road's so small. We worry about the water runoff on the storage buildings, and this is gonna cause the same thing. And I think this is why a lot of people have come up here today. Also, I noticed that some of these houses, these lots are .06. Let's see. I think the smallest townhouse is gonna be, if this is correct, is the square footage below, is that the square footage of the home or the townhouse on the plots? That's the lot size. So what size houses or townhouses are these gonna be?
I don't believe they.
Square footage wise?
I don't believe that they proposed that yet.
Okay.
Since it's still a preliminary plat, they're just looking
Right.
at lots right now.
Just 25, I mean, it's 25 feet is the front. It's gonna be the front, is what I'm looking at is their plots on what y'all have. That is small. And you go to the next one, 46 in this one spot, and 6.3 acres or something like that. It seems like a ton. I know, hey, I wanna make money too, and I know they wanna make money, but I think this is the wrong area to do it in. Across the street on North Shore, Sam Johnson's clearing that off for what? It's been in the makings for how long? I don't know.
There's 600 homes going over there, I believe.
600 homes, so that's another 600 homes across the street. Then you got down the road another neighborhood. Heritage Farm's got 422 homes. And I think we got enough homes in that area to cover what we got there.
I think it's 410.
Is that what, 4?
I think it's 400.
410 across the street at where Sam's at, so
Cottage one.
I think that North Shore is not big enough to hold with Sam Johnson and these. It's gonna be ridiculous. The city's gonna have to redo whole North Shore, Harper, I mean.
The developers have to do half-street improvements on the bigger.
Okay. Well, I don't know the technicality of the water and all the roads and stuff like that, but it's gonna make it super busy right there. It's already pretty busy as it is. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Frank Baptist, and I have some concerns. My concerns primarily are with safety. The road that's been spoken about is Harper Road. That's a one-lane road. And from what I can tell from the plat, and I may be wrong on this, but it looks like there's one lane come using in and out of there. So if they're proposing 46 condos, or townhouses, excuse me, if they're proposing 46, that's going to mean even more traffic leading in and out of that area with not a good road, really wide enough to handle traffic at peak hours. The other thing too is that we have a big erosion problem within the city of Benton with stormwater. Stormwater has been costly. Right down the road over the hill, the city has spent over $1 million to repair, re-engineer East Lakeview. And why is that? And that's because of the neighbors next to them where the stormwater eroded so badly that that had to be re-engineered. So that's a scenario of a lot of places within the city, and it continues to be. Right now, as we speak, there's another issue at the bottom of that field across the road from there, and I can't read the number. I would give you an address, but I don't know it because you can't see it. The house is vacant. But if you were to look at it, most of that yard, I guess in a west position, or a lot of it, say, has been eroded off. So it's fallen into that creek there. The storm water that keeps flowing in continues to erode it. Now, there's no one living there, but it would be a costly venture for someone to rehab that and live in there, and also featuring the water runoff. Now, the streets department has worked on that and tried to correct the issues, but it's still ongoing progress. It's not very simple. In addition to that, I have concerns about safety as far as that on Harper for emergency vehicles getting in and out of that. I don't know, maybe Chelsea, you could tell me, is there going to have parking on the street? Are they going to have garages? Just how will that be handled?
They will not have parking on the street. I do believe that they will have garages. Like I said, they haven't proposed the house plot plans yet.
Yeah.
But there is not on-street parking there.
Okay.
Also, regarding your concern with the safety vehicles, the city fire marshal did approve.
I spoke to the fire marshal earlier.
Yeah. So as long as they have 2 entrances and they measure, they have to meet the specific street width requirements. They
Right.
met all that. So.
Okay, now, you spoke once mentioned to me about a wall. Is that a firewall that's between each one of those townhouses?
So they would have to be built up to code. So if there's a firewall that's required by fire code, then they would have to do that. But I don't know the specifications on that. I'd have to give it to the fire marshal, but that would come in the construction drawings phase when the plot plans are submitted.
Yeah.
But they do share a wall. I think that's what you're thinking about. So
Okay.
it's attached single-family homes.
Can we tell how tall that wall is or how high it is, I guess?
Maybe once we get plot plans and go through construction
Okay.
drawings. we
Well,
can, but at
that's
this point,
a good scenario for a fire to start. And years ago, and several of you could remember this, there was a fire downtown. And without a firewall, that would have taken a good portion of where Jingles now stands. One of the buildings was taken out and not rebuilt. And the firewall was the main thing that kept that other buildings from going down itself. So if a fire were to occur, my concern would be for those people that live there, how they would get out safely.
Well, they
So,
do have to meet certain fire protection, and they have to meet building regulations in order to get a certificate of occupancy, and those things are considered when our inspectors go out.
Keeping in mind, this is a preliminary plat, and again, respectfully, Mr. Baptist, you have exceeded your time.
And I knew it was, but that's what some of these questions are, at least my questions came out, so I would have more information about it and find out more, as much as I could tonight. So, with that said, I know some other people might want to have questions, so I'll stop there.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Gary Elrod. I'm with the Heritage Farm, POA. And I'm just gonna take just a short time, because most everybody's already expressed their concerns about going on. And basically, it's the same thing when they talk about putting storage buildings in. It's basically the same thing, drainage, road, traffic, everything. So it's everything, like I said, everybody's already talked about things that they're concerned about. And I just think on behalf of the Heritage Farm, I'm the POA president, and several had discussed with me about this, and they were against it. So I just want to let you know that our concerns, and that we are here in support of the Heritage Farms, and we would like for this to be voted down.
Thanks, Mr. Elrod. Is there someone else that would like to speak?
I'm Eric Merger with GC Homes. I was just going to answer a couple of these questions that are getting brought up. As far as water flow, when we did this whole storage deal last year, We did a water flow study on that whole property. That's what that detention pond was designed off of. So when we do this project, we put in that detention pond, it's gonna flow less water through there with that pond. That's the whole point. We pay engineers to do that. So that's taken care of on that part. And as far as Harper Road goes, that is a brand new 2-lane road we're putting in off North Shore. You know, it's gonna fit 2 vehicles wide, fire access, everything. So I bet most people leaving this new neighborhood, if it gets approved, they're gonna take that brand new road instead of going to Harper and going through that bad road everyone's talking about. And I just wanna say, when it was gonna be a storage project, there was a secondary access in the same spot, which was approved before previously. That's the main questions I thought needed to be addressed. Biggest one being water flow. It is being addressed. We know about it, and that's what we got engineers for.
This is gonna be y'all's standard homes that y'all build, not the splotchy stuff. It's gonna be
It's not gonna be
nice, like y'all
Section 8. It's gonna be what you see us do. All brick, nice, some good stuff. So, anyways, just want to say that. I don't believe we had that in there, but if we did, it'd just be on that little section that we own. It wouldn't be the whole thing, you know, because there's other houses between all that. So, anybody else?
Thank you. Are there others that wish to speak?
Basically, he just said, answer the question. He's not gonna do anything for Harper Road, except for the little section he owns. That's a 1-lane road. She lives there, my mom lives there, his backyard's right there. It's go right now, you go down the road. If y'all drive down tomorrow, you drive down that road, come back. You'll understand what I'm talking about. So that's all I have to say.
Is that a county road?
Yes, it's County Road. Thank you. You've already had 3 minutes, sir. Any other comments or questions from the commission? If there are none, I would entertain a motion. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Chelsea, please call the roll.
Carl West,
Yes.
Brett Chumley,
No.
Sarah Wood,
Yes.
John Clement, Pamela Gibson,
Yes.
Mark Chilton,
Yes.
Andy Warford.
No.
We have 5 yes and 2 no. Motion passes. Moving on to item C, the renaming of Dixie Street. We've already had comments concerning the public hearing. Are there comments from the commission or questions from the commission since all parties concerned are still here?
Yes, I have some. I've talked, I didn't go seeking people, they sought me out. The main concern is the cost for the homeowners that actually live on Dixie Street. And I didn't go over there and walk the street, I don't know, but I was told they're mostly elderly people. I'm 100%, 1,000% for naming something after a Warrior Road. Anybody knows me, they know that, 1,000%. We need to figure out some way to raise money to help the people on Dixie, to help them, the legal fees, not only changing their plats and everything, and change the name after that. I don't wanna put the elderly, they're already on a fixed income, I don't wanna put them out any money. We need to get together as a community and figure out how to raise money for the people on the street and go door to door with them and say, what's it gonna cost you if we change the name of this street? Let's work some numbers out and help these people. I don't, like I say, the name, it's my understanding it's named after a person over there. Yeah. Not anything else, it was a person's name. But I'm 100% for naming it, and if we don't name this street after the war hero, Mr. Fuller, we put a statue up for him or something over there. Mr. Percy deserves one too. I know Mr. Percy very well, he deserves something. And I'm all for it. Yes, sir.
About the price, cost, what is the cost for the homeowner?
Well, you'll have to get, and like I say, it'll be wheels
No, Ms. Stamps very eloquently outlined all of the items for cost. Ms. Stamps, if I could ask you to hold on just 1 minute.
I can go do that. I'll go do that, sir.
I'm probably gonna be more effective.
Yeah.
So, it's gonna be everybody that owns property there or lives there has to
Thank you.
have paperwork done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Other, just to change the address.
You have to do all your legal paperwork, anything you have legal wise will have to change. So if you have,
the address.
like the wheels,
Yeah.
any kind of,
You will have to change things like driver's license.
Yep.
If you have all your mail,
Miss
have to change.
Ms. Stamps, if you would kindly read your list again.
Address changes to any and all legal documents. Your bank accounts, any investment accounts, your wills, insurance documents, utility accounts. Your postal address changes to your driver's license and passports are not cheap. I just changed mine 3 months ago. Car titles and registration, any real estate, mortgage deeds or titles. Your professional license, I just did that last month. It cost me $2,500, and they don't care if you change your address. You're gonna have to do it all over again, which means I would have to pay $2,500 again. Business stationery, letterheads, websites, business cards, any corporate identity documents that you may have. And those are just the ones that I thought of today.
Thank you very much.
go ahead, yes ma'am.
Absolutely.
I went to, that's the ward I serve.
Yes ma'am.
And so I went to everybody on this street. I don't have a problem with changing the name either, and it needs to be, to be changed to whatever, like you said. But when I went to every resident on that street, there are, I'm not calling any names, but there are a couple residents that's not gonna be there. Because when I went to them and asked them, they were rude to me. And they thought that I was coming to them, trying to get them to change. But in order to get everybody on the same page, it needs to be a meeting. It needs to be a conversation. And the conversation needs to be, okay, we need to change this name, but everybody on the street, because it's not just a few people, everybody has to come together. But I know there's two families, it's gonna be hard to change, because you just can't change it without those two families. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I know there's two that's gonna be very hard to.
Well, I met one of them last night at Walmart, and they cornered me pretty good.
And there's two that's very hard to convince.
They were
And
totally
so,
against it.
in order to change it, regardless if you come up with the money, and everybody do come up with it, and, change it to, whatever name you puller is fine, whatever name you come up with, you come up with the money, you still got to convince the family.
And Chelsea, you might know the answer to this question. I know it used to be when we changed the name of a street, that a family is a family name. You had to get permission from that family to change the name of that street.
It is the family that did the petition.
They filed the petition,
Okay,
yeah.
so, but Dixie Street's named after that family that filed the petition?
So, no, so whenever I did the research, I pulled up the plats, I pulled up the information on when the Dixie Street name came about. It was part of the Cloud 9 edition, it was bought from the railroad, and there were multiple street names. That's when Johnson came in, Dixie, Gum. I couldn't find anything on it being named after somebody. It was an accumulation of like 10 different street names.
Okay.
I couldn't find anything about
See,
that.
I was told
the same
it
thing.
was named after a
So-
lady over there.
No, it was Patricia Ashley's family is what she had told me.
Okay.
But I couldn't pull any record of it. Even direct quotes from her
Do you
didn't have it.
know who it was named after?
No, so no one old enough to know.
Yeah, I remember the older.
Right.
It was 1908.
Yeah.
Remember, y'all remember the Fudge Man, right, on Reed Street? Mr. Roy?
Yeah.
That was told me, he used to tell me who these things were named after, but I don't remember.
Well, nobody knows where the name comes from.
But
And it's not really about the name, it's just that he lived on that street.
Yeah, no, we're with that 100%.
Maybe the goals that who is, in need. And we had said that before, that we were willing to, come up with a fundraiser. We were willing to help anybody that needs help getting their paperwork changed, because some are elderly, but, like I say, it's 58 to 14 people, and just thinking about it, it's maybe, two elderly.
And here's no issue right now.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I propose a fundraiser, if people could get together, have a meeting with the neighborhood association maybe, if they're willing, and come up with some type of fundraiser.
Ma'am, that would not be the scope of this body. Keep in mind, anything that this body passes, the city council has the authority to overturn. So this is only a step in the process. I would prefer unity over division. I don't know where the common ground is. I honestly do not know. I understand everyone's position. But again, at the end of the day, I would prefer some unity rather than some division. So I don't want to beleaguer this issue, but if those things that you are bringing up are a reality, then the answer just might be to table it until there is some unity.
Mayor, the petition that was got from the homeowners, residents on the street has been signed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they agree, more than not, that's what they're.
Yes.
So it
51%
said-
is what the ordinance says.
That's
That
what it
just gets
says,
it
and
on the
we-
petition.
That, they've met that. So I believe you guys need to vote.
Yeah, so let me explain that process again real quick. The petition is to simply, as Chelsea just mentioned, to get the item on the agenda,
Yes, sir.
all right? And so the ordinance, as it was passed, kind of has some checks and balances. Sometimes it gives weight to the property owners, sometimes it gives weight to the residents. In the end, it's the community has to decide what's best for it, and via what we do at that next step is the planning commission, then as the chair just stated, goes to city council next. But yeah, the petitions just simply serve, the signatures simply get it on the agenda to further it as an item that this is decided the community should discuss, and that's where we are.
I think it would be wise for,
I'll be glad to go ahead and call it to a vote. Someone's going to be disappointed.
Somebody will. I mean, we ain't nobody.
as of right now, I think you're gonna have more no votes than yeses, because I don't wanna cause, I'm not gonna cause cost to people on the street. I don't mind the name change, I don't mind naming after a hero, I don't mind any of that, but I don't want anybody to be out a bunch of money. Yeah. So that's why we say table it, and let's get together and work on a fundraiser of some kind to get the people of the community some money.
Well, okay, let's just see, y'all keep the cans from down the road, you keep the cans.
So when you say table it, how long are you talking about delaying it?
Well, we need to
That's it.
figure out how much it's gonna cost on average for everybody over there to change their mailing addresses and all their paperwork and stuff, and try to figure out a solution, because, and then go from there, because the lady I spoke with last night was 100% against it.
We're going to majority or not?
Research that the community is gonna have to do, or is it?
It would, y'all could do it, and we could get a fundraiser together, and everybody knows me, I don't mind helping, I don't mind at all. But I don't like to cause people unjust money, I just don't like it, not in this day and age right now.
At this point, I would entertain a motion of some kind if you wish to Move to approve or move to table, a motion of some kind so we can move this meeting along.
I'll make a motion, we table it.
We have a motion to table. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Chelsea, please call the roll regarding a motion to table.
Carlson, yes. Brett Chumley?
Yes.
Darrell Wood?
Yes.
Pamela Gibson?
Yes.
Mark Chilton?
Yes.
Andy Warford?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment before we?
We have 7 yes. The motion to table passes. Commissioner Gibson?
It's very hard sitting up here to vote positively to honor a war hero. I'm an Army wife. You will find no greater supporter of the military than me. I want to honor this person. He deserves the honor. But it's very hard to sit up here and I don't have a good feel for what is the balance. I don't know if there are only 2 people that own property and reside on Dixie Street that are opposed to it, or if there are half of the people that live on Dixie or reside on it that are opposed to it. I don't have that clear in my mind, and until I have a better feel for what that proportion is, my tendency is to err on the side of being against it. The address change is gonna be the same hassle as if you decide you're gonna move to Little Rock and you've gotta change the address on everything that you've got. And having done it more than once, and I'm sure everybody in this room has, you know it's a hassle and sometimes it's expensive. And perhaps you can figure out a way to help those people that live on that road with that process.
I think the issue is everyone has a choice when that occurs. It would be off-putting when you did not have a choice. But we have a motion and a second. We moved unanimously to table this issue. Moving on to item D, 1205, 1207, Highway 35, a rezone from AG to R5. Chelsea, if you would please read the request.
Zeke and Glenda Brinsfield, property owners, is requesting approval of a rezone at 1205 or 1207 Highway 35. Property is currently zoned AG, which is agriculture. They are requesting this property be rezoned to R5, which is multifamily. All questions and comments from Benton Utilities and the City of Benton have been approved.
Is there anyone here representing this item? Please take the podium, state your name, sign the book. Thank you.
God bless you. My name is Zeke Brinsfield. I am the property owner of 1205 and 1207 Highway 35. I'd just like to say God bless you all. Y'all need a lot of prayer. This is a big night. And we just want to try to do what's right in providing affordable housing. And we've been at that property there since 2017. We've owned that. We own property over on Silica Heights, over in Hidden Valley, and in off Turtle Creek as well in Haskell. And so we've built homes here in Saline County, and we own those homes today. The properties that we purchase, we keep, and that's what we're in the business of doing, is acquiring real estate for my wife and I. And this property, we see a good opportunity there, not just on the front part of it from Highway 35, but on the back side of the property. If you've got the maps there, there's opportunity to be able to expand off of Sorrells Road into that. There's a lot of cleanup that needs to happen over in that community, specifically right there off Sorrells Road. There's a lot of trash. There's a lot of need that would bring benefit to I guess, really some city ordinances being upheld even, with the current land, situation over there. And so we want to be a partner with you to help in that, process, and we want to build something that, Benton can be proud of. And that's as much as I can say about it.
Are there questions from the commission?
What are your, this is a funky little lot.
It is funky.
Real narrow and real deep.
It is, very narrow and very deep.
Are you two homes on it now?
It does, yes, sir. It sure does.
What are what are you thinking about for this?
We've talked with Jonathan Hope as well, Hope Engineering. He's looked at the property a couple years ago. We were assessing it to build a house in between the two houses that are there right now. And we held off on doing that at that time. There's about a 2,000 square foot barn structure that's right there in the middle of that we want to tear down. And we want to use that part of the property and between the two houses to put in two duplexes there. We would like to take the front house and remove it after that, to actually allow for, traffic and things like that, to be able to have parking and things of that nature for the property. We would also like to expand the back. And so, but the original request right now though, and I don't want to try to overwhelm the discussion here, but, as we do that part of it, we would like to be able to look, if opportunities came up to buy properties that are adjacent or that connect to that property off Sorrells, we would like to be able to make access into the back part of the property. And that would open up, whether it's, we use duplexes there, or if we do, very much kind of like the townhouse model that is just across across Edison. There's some really nice townhouses that are going up there that are selling for about $200,000 each right now, and they're really nice homes. And so we would like to do something maybe of that nature.
Can you get to the back part of that lot from the front part that opens off of Highway 35?
I can, yes, ma'am. I can drive full tractors through there. I can drive a vehicle through there. But it would not pass putting a road in there from Highway 35 out of that. Now, we would have to widen the front entrance that's right there, and there'd probably have to be a move of some utilities as well. So we've got 2 water meters that are right there in the front. Part of that would have to be looked at being moved to be able to expand the driveway, to make it feasible into that.
Are there other questions?
So right now, the plan would be to eliminate that barn structure, is what you're looking at doing, and building a couple duplexes in that area.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, future-wise, maybe tear down the front home.
That's correct.
There now.
So how many units total
Would be
on this?
4.
Okay.
4 units total.
And that is how many R5 allows as a maximum of 4 units?
So if you put more, you'd have to come back in for another rezone?
Yes, or a replat of the property.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm just asking, so he puts 4 there now, and he's still got the 2 current homes, are they all on the same parcel? That'd be
He wouldn't,
6.
yes, he wouldn't be able to do those unless it's replatted or they're demoed before the other duplex is put in.
Okay, just make sure you're aware of that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Do I hear a motion? I have a motion to approve and a second. Chelsea, please call the roll.
Carl West,
Yes.
Brett Chumley,
Yes.
Darrell Wood,
Yes.
John Clement, Pamela Gibson,
Yes.
Mark Chilton, Andy Warford.
Yes.
We have 7 yes. The motion passes. Moving on to item E, 219 Kenwood Road, a rezone from R2 to C2.
This is, for
And just for the record, anytime someone takes the podium and blesses your heart, it ain't never good. So don't ever bless our heart.
You can bless mine, I need it.
Bless your heart. I said, God bless you. I want the blessing of the Lord upon you.
Thank you.
We could discuss that privately.
I need that.
Any day, any day. He can do it again if he wants to.
So, Williams Taxes is at 219 Kenwood Road. It was zoned R2 whenever the zoning map was They're requesting C2, that's what's beside it. Requesting approval of a rezone 219 Kenwood. Property is currently zoned R2, single family district. They're requesting property be C2, which is general commercial. All regulations have been met.
Thanks, Chelsea. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak on this item?
I'm Amy Cunningham with Williams Tax, so thank you for having me here. I'm here to answer any questions if you have questions.
That property, I noticed, the building itself looks like a house, was a house, but it's strictly a business, correct?
It has recently, since the passing of Paul Williams, is now only business. Yes, she has, his wife has moved to a new home.
Okay, and I noticed you were doing some clearing.
We received a grading permit and there has been grading to the back of the property, yes.
Are you planning to leave it as it is, or are you gonna demolish the house?
We would
and
like
do
to-
more of a business kind of a thing?
Absolutely. We would like to tear down the house. It has a lot of difficulties. It was built in 1950 and has not had a lot of updating.
It's a house.
Yes. Yeah, so it really is not capable of handling what we need with electricity and plumbing. And we would like to take the house down and put a metal building that would have office spaces, which would allow us to have better parking, more appropriate parking, but also public restroom facilities, wheelchair accessible, the things that would be more important for our
To code.
clients, for our customers. Yeah.
And this is right behind Surge, am I?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And I know Surge is a C2. My concern is C2 allows you in the future to build things that I'm not sure we want there. Because you still have some residences along that Kenwood. And I was wondering if you would consider maybe a rezone to a C1 instead of a C2. C1, an office space is by right, but you don't have a gas station that you have by right in a C2.
Oh, okay.
So that was my question. If you consider it a C1, I know that'd be the only little C1 there, but
Yeah, that wouldn't be unusual, if you're transitioning from a commercial to a residential area to have, C1 be more of a buffer. That's not unusual.
and we've got the
And-
new one.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've got the
It's
new.
called neighborhood commercial, so it's a smaller scale, more.
C1 would not hurt you.
Okay.
What Commissioner Gibson is suggesting would not hurt you.
And then
think-
you've got the residences across the street from there too.
So normally when you get from commercial to residential, you see it scaled down to a smaller scale unless you provide for buffers, between the commercial properties and the residential properties.
Okay.
So.
Our only plan is, I mean, this is a family business. I'm the niece of Paul. And so, and my niece, she and I have bought the business and bought the property. We want to continue with the tax preparation business and keep it that way. We have no plans of selling or building anything else but our office space to keep it in the family.
I'm just thinking long-term, there's more commercial and bigger commercial under C2 by right.
Okay.
And C1 is more like what you're proposing,
Okay.
neighborhood business.
Would we need to do changes in paperwork or our applications?
No, ma'am, I would just change it in the ordinance.
Okay.
Because we're going.
And if there's a motion, it needs to specifically state C1, changing it.
I think we're appropriate, if that's appropriate. Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Chelsea, please call the roll.
Laura West.
Yes.
Brett Chumley.
Yes.
Darrell Wood.
Yes.
John Clement. Pamela Gibson.
Yes.
Mark Chilton. Andy Wolf.
Yes.
We have 7 yes, the motion passes. Moving on to item F, 20453 I-30, site plan for Riggs Outdoors Wash Bay and Scissor Lift Shed.
Terry Burris, architect. I'm representing J.A. Riggs on this proposed modification to their existing facility. What we're doing is replacing an existing wash bay, storage, and workshop facility square footage with a new wash bay and a scissor lift canopy cover shed for charging purposes.
The only thing I have a question about is a grading and building permit must be pulled in order to start work. Why is it highlighted?
Which one said that? Oh, me, I did.
Yeah.
Because I had to specify, because people were going and doing work for, after site plan approval, and we took that out because developers didn't want to pay, engineers and surveyors to do their drainage and grading stuff. So they were confusing the old ordinance with the new. So yes, I have to put that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we are working on top of existing paved areas. So
Well, it was highlighted in yellow, I was like, what?
And bold.
And bold.
And bolted.
It means she meant it.
Yeah, 100%. Only be better for that exclamation points behind it, she's yelling then.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Chelsea, please call the roll.
Carl West.
Yes.
Brett Chumley.
Yes.
Darrell Woods.
Yes.
John Clement. Mark Lewis. Pamela Gibson.
Yes.
Mark Chilton. Andy Wolf.
We have 7 yes. The motion passes. Moving on to item G, South Main Street. Conditional use for multifamily.
Okay, this is Mr. Nally's properties. They're on South Main Street. I'm sure y'all have seen the duplexes being built over there. LMP Properties requesting approval of conditional use permit for their properties along South Main Street. There are 12 total parcels. These properties are currently zoned TC1. Multifamily is allowed by conditional approval only per ordinance 52 of 17. These properties were rezoned in 2016 to RM 3.75, which is multifamily, ordinance 21 of 16, but that was changed back in 2017 when the zoning ordinance was last updated. So he had built, started this project already across the street. He's now doing the other ones across the other street. I said it has to have conditional use to protect his property value long term. And I just requested that he just do the entire thing,
Sure.
so he doesn't come into any.
He's done a good job dressing
Yes.
that section up. Is there any more discussion, or does someone wish to speak on this item?
Motion to approve.
Got it. Got it.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Motion and a second. Chelsea, please call the roll.
Can't write fast enough. Carl West.
Yes.
Brett Chumley. Darrell Woods. John Clement. Pamela Gibson.
Yes.
Mark Chilton. Andy Warford.
We have 7 yes. The motion passes, and thank you for the work you do.
I should have made you walk up here.
Item. No, I felt bad for that poor architect having to sit back there and listen to all of this.
We still got one more. You weren't very loud.
No,
He will be though.
but
Eric's sitting there.
but I put Eric at the end all the time.
This always happens to him.
Item H, number 001-04824-000, annexation on Highway 5. Mr. Richardson. Chelsea, please read the request.
He leaves me out sometimes. So this is that property off of Highway 5, the one beside Benton Transmission, the empty lot. It, for whatever reason, wasn't annexed when the rest of it was annexed, so they're requesting it to be annexed now. Is it still proposed to be the new Lost Pizza location or no? Backed out, okay. So we don't know what it's gonna be yet,
That
but
deal
we're gonna
came
match
unwound.
the, surrounding zoning to C3.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I mean, we can stay and talk, guys. We
No.
can stay and talk.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I heard you had an
Things to pass
amazing speech
out.
prepared. You had an amazing speech prepared.
Okay,
Yeah.
We can read through all this. You guys wanna hang around?
So Wes made a motion.
We still have a motion on the floor and a second. Please call the roll.
Carl West.
Yes.
Brett Chumley.
Yes.
Darrell Wood. John Clement. Pamela Gibson.
Yes.
Mark Chilton. Andy Warford.
We have 7 yes, the motion passes. Thanks, Eric, for your patience.
Thank you.
Item 6, other business. Is there other business? Yes, she is sitting right back there to your right, towards the back. Are you seriously wanting to address this board? Okay, thank you very much. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion and a second. All in favor, get out of here.
Don't say anything crazy in the mic, it's still on.
I didn't. I thought I did fine.
So,
Which one? It's a short street. I thought what he's doing there is just.
yes, sir.
On the table, he could replant.
That was my only question. It said that it can be indefinite.
The thing is, I don't know why, they call the smaller ones, I call them wood lot.
It's all owned by the same people.
They'll
So,
be back.
So he's
Right. Oh, I know that.